hospitality, and above all for your leadership. You're a transformational president, focus on the economy with a relentless focus on the American worker.
He sounded a whole lot different than he did when he was elected, right? Because there were leftist accounts that said Carney's on his way to smack Trump around and tell him the 50 Canada's not for sale. Real easy to be behind your microphone, like I am here, talking all that smoke and talking all that heat. Oh, well, Trump's this and Trump's that, and we're going to take the fight to Trump. And then all of a sudden you're sitting next to him and you're like, this dude is huge. And I'm in the Oval Office. Maybe I might want to calm that down.
Securing your borders, ending the scourge of fentanyl and other opioids, and securing the world. And I've been elected with my colleagues here, with the help of my colleagues here. I'm going to spread the credit to transform Canada with a similar focus on the economy, securing our borders, again on fentanyl. Much greater focus on defense and security, securing the Arctic and developing the Arctic. And the history of Canada and the U.S. is we're stronger when we work together, and there's many opportunities to work together. And I look forward to, addressing some of those issues that we have, but also finding those areas of mutual cooperation so we can move forward.
That's great. Very nice. Thank you very much. It's a very nice statement.
So he goes on, and I don't have the clip where he says, like, Canada's not for sale, and Trump's like, well, you never know. I'm still going to take it from you, Carney. You never know. Let me see if we can actually find it real quick, because that's how we roll here on Rickcast. Trump never say never, because that's what he did, because he is fantastic. And there's a lot of things that Trump does that can kind of upset us, but then there's stuff like this, which in the arena of the politics is entertainment, right? We can establish that at this point, that politics is entertainment. And so let's see. Let's get that going. It's here. It's not here. Let's remove that. Bring you
Hospitality.
Up. Nope, get away. Come on up. Here we go. Take a listen. Oh, you can't hear it? Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Man, all right. Well, I tried. Usually you guys can hear it, but maybe it's just you. Maybe it's just you. Maybe your computer is so bad you can't hear it. Maybe it is. But since I promised it to you guys, I will give it to you. Give me 2 seconds. All right, let's try that again. Let's try that again, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, crotchety elder, living up to your name. Let's try that one more time. Here we go.
Very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. We have done that in the past. And part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
And they have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, they were low, and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
He's got to do it. He's got to do it. He's never say never. Never say never, guys. Like you can have that nice little speech that you just made, but understand, Trump gets the last laugh. I always do. Just like, look at me. Hillary Clinton is not here. I am. So the meeting followed the escalating trade disputes, including U.S. tariffs of 25% on steel, aluminum, some cars, Canada's retaliatory tariffs of nearly $30 billion on U.S. products. When you think $30 billion is a lot of money, it's not compared to the American GDP. So, they're going to say, well, it's $30 billion. Nah, it's not that. It's like a drop in the bucket. Trump reiterated his desire for the U.S. to produce its own cars and expressed openness to annexation, while Carney firmly rejected any changes to Canada's sovereignty, stating the country is not for sale. Trump called the trade deficit a subsidy and said annexation could bring, quote, a massive tax cut for Canadian citizens, where Carney stressed Canada's views would not change on the 51st state. The talks underscore the risks to the $1.2 trillion annual trade value and highlighted calls to separate trade from security. Well, Canada is the one that loses in this whole thing. It really is. I'm not sure. Once again, Rick Cast is a show that is absolutely in, I want to say the bag, but is 100% supportive of protectionism. I've always, once this thing started a couple weeks ago, ever since Liberation Day, I have been fully in the camp of American protectionism. And I'm fine if it makes Canada a little uneasy. I'm fine if it makes the stock market kind of go up and down or whatever the case may be, simply because it's time. By the way, the market is pretty much recovered all of the things, all of the troubles that people were worried about and the losses and all of this other stuff. And if you didn't get in there, now you don't have to play the market, right? If you don't think about that. I jumped in and all of my stuff. I have not lost on any of my the stocks that I bought, in particular Apple. The fact that I bought Apple at 170 and now it's over 200 is, I wish I had more money. I wish I wasn't so broke. I would have bought 10, 12. I would have bought as much Apple stock as possible. But the fact is, he's there. There was a lot of talking. He was there on his good evening, G. It is one more lovely lady in the chat. Thank you so much. Great to have you here. Appreciate it. You help my numbers too, my my demographics, so it's not just all old white men like Crotchety Elder. Anyway, it's great to see these guys come face to face with Trump, only because they all act like they're going to be tough when they get to see him. And then they come and they bend the knee. Yeah, G-Money, I'm not saying if you don't feel comfortable doing the stock market casino, don't get involved with it. This is by far not my only means, but there's a little bit of extra money, and I saw there was some opportunity to make some. A lot of people are like, don't care, not going to get involved. I say it today, but tomorrow it could crash out because, as we said, it's a casino. I'm okay with it because I didn't put a ton of money in, but I put enough to put a smile on my face. Let's put a smile on that face. So Carney visited Trump. There's nothing earth shattering. He got his quips in. They'll cut out the part where Trump says never say never. He'll go back and said, I stood up to Trump. Look how great it was. I told him we were never for sale. And there's this continuing debate. Trump says never say never. We're going to make it the 51st state. And then there's the idea of, well, what about Alberta? We're just bringing in Alberta. It's Saskatchewan, I think, is the other one that are very conservative. But then we have to ask the question of this. Is a conservative Canadian just a rhino? I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean that kind of neoconservative, moderate Republican, fiscally conservative, socially liberal, or are they Bible belters? I know they're not all, like a Kennedy Hall. He's a very staunch Catholic, which means he's very conservative in that nature with all those kinds of things. How many Kennedy Halls are there up there? If Alberta was filled with Kennedy Halls, then I'd say invade the sucker tomorrow and take it, even though he'd be, Canadian pride. He doesn't want that, obviously. But this is just another show between the two of them, another world leader that comes to try and talk bad about Trump or talk big to Trump and then ends up just bending the knee. And that's fine. because that's what they all do. I know India, in the midst of trading missiles with Pakistan, said they've agreed to drop tariffs and they're going to do this whole thing between the two of them. We're not hearing anything on that back end. All of these negotiations that have been taking place. Because remember, who's the only one we care about? We don't care about India. We don't care about Madagascar. We don't care about Japan. We don't even care about Canada that much. We do a little bit because Canada's been taking a lot of advantage of us for a long time. But it's China. It's China. That's the one that everybody cares about. That's the one that, we're looking to go after, for lack of a better term. Trump tariffs impact on China. I know I saw something about that the other day. Let's see. We're not going to find anything in the American media because they're all just going to say like they're not doing anything. Ha 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 ha. So it'll be whatever it is. So, but it will impact the Chinese in the long term. Don't get it twisted, because the Chinese are a market-based economy. If that's what they're not a consumer economy. They're an exporter. They're a creative economy. Somebody's going to be better than me. I had the term a couple weeks ago. They don't have any of that problem. Hold on, let me Twitter's giving us problems. Then don't worry about Twitter. Focus on Getter. I'm just letting her know what to do in real time. I honestly don't care. I'll talk about that in a second. But there is this one thing. Well, I mean, Dixon, welcome to the show. I think it's your first time here. If not, I apologize. We kind of do, because you guys don't spend money on your military. The reason you don't spend your money on the military is because we subsidize your military efforts. Just those kinds of examples. So you guys do exist in a relative blanket of security because of us. And there's a couple of other things. I mean, just think about that. Just think about the fact that you don't have to spend as much as you would in the military. You can put that towards healthcare and all the other things that you do. So that's a pretty big subsidy. Now, if you want to think that's bullcocky, then that's fine. I get it. But that's just one example of it. Now, Trump, when he says that, I think remember, just like when Trump with the AI image of the Pope, half of what Trump says is true, but most of it is trolling. Most of it is to get under, no offense, you are correct. I will give you that, but we don't need it. We have enough oil in East Texas to power these United States for 100 years. We have the Barnett Shale. We have the oil off the coast of Texas and Louisiana. Texas itself, I don't know if you know this, Texas has its own grid. We can actually unhook from the rest of the grid and be fine. But we appreciate it. We like the neighborly relationship. We're happy to take your oil and process it and send it back up to you and all the other things. The relationship between Canada and the U.S. should be one that is a harmonious one. The problem is that Canada is turning into such a Marxist. We're doing it, honestly, not to be a jerk. We're doing it to help you. There's two reasons. We're doing it to help you, and we're also doing it so we don't deplete our own reserves. So there's two things on that. It's really like, why do we buy stuff from other countries that we could, because these United States, the economy is just so massive that we want to help and we want to have a good relationship with our neighbors. And that facilitates it. So Mr. Dixon, I think you might have to check on that again. So it is what it is. Fix your own country. Well, we did just elect Trump, and we're trying to do so now. So it is. Ooh, we got a live one. I like this. Ignore Canada. You know what? If we ignored you tomorrow, I don't think you would like that result. Let me just throw it out there. I don't think you would like that if we ceased all activity with you tomorrow. If we stopped buying your oil, we stopped providing you military assistance, if we stopped doing all these things. Now, Mr. Dixon, M. Dixon, we're not trying to be combative here, but there are some things that we need to work out. So it is what it is. And it is a contentious thing because Canada has been able to use economic protectionism for you. Yeah, that's fine. But Canada has engaged in economic protectionism for a long time, and it has benefited from NAFTA and other things. And I think you may not realize how much you benefit from these United States. So it's just something you should think about. Your Canadian pride, I like it. I respect it. I'm a Texan, right? Texas forever. I'm a part of the Texas nationalist movement. I would love to see Texas go out. I don't think you understand that we could also shut off the entire grid in your country because your pipeline runs through the U.S. If we decided to stop, you also built your pipeline from one side of the country to the other. It goes through the U.S. If we ceased operations, your lights would go out too. So it is, be careful what you wish for on that one. Because if you look at a map and how the oil flows from one side of Canada to the other, it does go through the US. Just understand, okay? That's all. I'm not trying to be combative here. I'm trying to respect the fact that I love the fact that you're here, Mr. Dixon. You know, I appreciate it, and I like the fact that you're actually engaging in the conversation. I think this show is only better when guys like you get in here. Hey, man, if you ask most Americans like me, we don't want it. I actually have told, and this show has said, we don't want Canada. But maybe Alberta and some other places should become independent territories. Maybe they should do that, but you know, there's too much of Canada, and too much of the population is way too far left that it wouldn't be beneficial for the United States to actually have or buy Canada. So on that note, we're going to move on because we could be here all night. But Dixon, thank you for engaging in the conversation. I actually appreciate that greatly. So, all right, this is Rickcast. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. I love the fact that we get people in here kind of chopping it up. So it makes the show better. It really does. It's not just me, sounding like the teacher from Snoopy. Wah, 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 wah. So I appreciate it. I love it. Thank you for joining me. Hit the like, subscribe, share button. If you like what we're doing here, we try to have as much of a conversation as possible. We don't want to be adversarial because nobody, I don't want to be in a show where we just yell back and forth at people. If you want that, you can go to other shows. You can go to MSNBC and all. You can go watch Piers Morgan. I ain't into all that. But we can talk about stuff and we can try to at least see what's going on here. And yeah, I can understand why Canadians are upset because they don't, they're very much, they feel like they're getting bullied at this point. Maybe true, maybe not be. Anyway, so let's move on. There was something we were going to talk about, or something somebody put something in there and said I was going to talk about it. No. Yes, Texas first. I'm a Texan. I would love to see Texas separate from the United States and be its own country. So that's how I'm looking at it. It also took you probably 7 years to get it. An interesting stat. Oh, by the way, that medical is because you don't have a military. That medical is because you guys don't fund your military. So you have no medical debt. You can actually now say thank you. You can say thank you to every American in the chat. Thank every single one of them because our tax dollars, which funds the military, protects you. And because it protects you, you cannot have that debt. Also, it's quicker for a dog to see a doctor than a person in Canada. So enjoy it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Germany has free internet because they don't have a military. We have a military. My bro-in-law is Canada. My bro-in-law is... Yeah, we've done the military. Your military doesn't really scare anybody. No offense, but the Salvation Army could probably occupy you guys in like a week. All right. Yeah, let's see. Military versus U.S. There's a pretty fun... Here we go. Globalfirepower.com. I think this is a great website. Let's go with this. This is fun. I like this. I was not planning this tonight. This is great. All right. I hate it when the thing does that. Makes me look foolish. Well, it doesn't really take much for me to do that. But let's take a look at this. Globalfirepower.com tells us you're not peacekeepers. So 1 out of 145, 28 out of 145. Manpower, U.S. beat you. Air power, U.S. beat you. Land power, U.S. beat you. Naval power, U.S. beat you. Natural resources, U.S. beat you. Financials, U.S. beat you. Logistics, we beat you. We got our military, our population, 341 million versus 38 million. Available manpower, 150 million, 463,000 versus 16 million. Fit for service, 128 million versus 13. Let's see. Active personnel, 1.32, 68,000. I can keep going. Reserve, almost 800,000, 27,000. Let's see. You guys really beat us in the paramilitary forces, so that's really great. I'm pretty happy about that. We have 13,000 aircraft. You have 351. We have 1,700 fighters. You have 66. Dedicated attack. We have 889. You have 0. Let's see. Special missions, aerial tankers, helicopters. We win again. Attack helicopters. I think we're really shaken in the fact that you have 0 attack helicopters and we have 1,000. Land power. We have, I don't even know what that means, but it's 4,640 to 74. Armored vehicles, almost 400,000. You have 21,000. Let's see. Where's the fleet strength? We have 11 aircraft carriers. You have 0. We have 9 helo carriers. You have 0. We have 70 submarines. You have 4. Remember, you were trying to talk smack to me. We have 81 destroyers. You have 0. You have 12 frigates, though, so I'm pretty worried about that. We have, let's see, airports, ports, terminals, railways. I haven't seen. Oh, wait, you did beat us in that one category. You were bragging about oil production. Your 5 million barrels of oil is not really much against the 20 million or 20 billion. I'm sorry, your 5 billion versus our 20 billion. I mean, it just kind of my point is you were talking all that smack about 5 seconds ago about how you had a military. You do have a military, but it's literally a MINO. It's a military in name only at this point. So my point is, if you're going to talk that smack, you better understand that if the United States was in any way, shape, or form aggressive, you wouldn't stand a shot. We're not, though. We joke about it, but you're getting pissy about it. And I think you need to understand it's because we have all of those things that you haven't had to spend your money on aircraft carriers, on planes, on all of this other stuff. So you want to brag about your health care. It's because you haven't spent your money on anything else. So, yes, we do. So I don't know why you be talking that smack. Actually, it'll be the Chinese when the Chinese take you over because you guys are working with them. Hey, man, we don't want you as the 51st state. But I was like, whoa, the United States beats everybody. 5 seconds ago, you were like, we got a military, bro. My brother-in-law is in the military. Was your brother-in-law all 16,000 military personnel? And that 16,000 personnel is not all active military. I'm just saying. I'm not even trying to be aggressive here. You kind of have to realize where you're at. These United States, Trump is the only one talking about it. And I think he's talking about it to get you guys in line with how your economic policy should be. So it is what it is in that regard, bud. Just remember, you start talking about how much military you have. It's not that much. So maybe just keep bragging about that healthcare that you don't have to spend on because the United States protects you.